Good morning, Gino.
Hey, Dan.
It's still morning, technically.
Still morning, yeah. Reaching the noon. You have a lovely view from your balcony.
Yeah, I do like it out here.
Yeah, very nice. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you may notice that we have some construction noise next door.
Yeah.
They're building a house. I think they're building it into your room.
Yes, basically the building house.
Yeah.
On my balcony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically like expanding the size of our house, and we're getting new housemates for free.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Bali is the land of perpetual construction.
Yes, in your ass. Anyway.
What are we talking about?
Well, who?
Who are we talking about?
Who are we talking with about?
Yes. And about what?
We're talking with Janne.
Janne.
The Janne.
The engineer.
The engineer.
Mm-hmm.
It's an amazing moment.
If you're Pinky, he's the brain.
I vaguely know what you're talking about. Pinky the Brain, yeah, it's a reference I partially get. Anyway, we don't want to make like a long intro. Janne came a few months ago here.
It was months
ago. And he's going to come in the future again.
Yes.
Because every now and then there is a need to get someone to come in and sort out things and clean and tidy up and organize and get everything in the room and make it spotless and clean. That's Janne. That's his job.
Mm-hmm.
And he did it beautifully.
Yeah.
So we wanted to clarify 75 million themes, and he did it.
Yeah, we try to pack a lot into this episode.
Yeah. Like, and so it's going to be brilliant. It's going to be a little tour de force between in the world of chi and the world of spirituality and the world of whatever we do and anything else, because he really talked about everything.
Yeah.
With a lot of knowledge and precision.
Yeah, precision I think is a good word for Janne. He tries to be very precise in his language.
You don't think there's knowledge, just precision?
I mean, he's filtering the knowledge through a very precise filter. So I just think that's what really distinguishes Janne. There's a lot of people with knowledge that come through our podcast, but there's a certain type of precision that I appreciate. Yeah. So some of the stuff we covered, I'm just going to go over very briefly.
Just read them, like a few things randomly. That's going to confuse people.
So the title was called "Building the Map with the Engineer." Right. So we're trying to build this map because it's kind of confusing when you find yourself in the internal arts and there's this discipline and that discipline and how do they all fit together? Do they fit together? Where am I going? Where am I on this map? So we talked about basically the benefits of trying to build a map, the dangers, the inherent limitations of a map on the spiritual path. And we also talked about the difference between kind of locating yourself on the map and also taking a moment to kind of survey the territory. So instead of just walking around like with your head down in the map, to taking a moment to kind of look up and look around, well, where am I actually?
Yeah, what the map corresponds to in reality.
Instead of just getting obsessed with this like construction of the map.
Right.
So we're trying to do both, to construct this thing that is inaccurate because it's just a construct, and also to try to find where and when it's useful.
Yeah.
So I thought it was great. We talked a lot about helpful qualities of mind, stillness, calm abiding, gratitude, acceptance, attention. Belief is an unnecessary ingredient of the spiritual path. However, disbelief can be a hindrance.
Yes.
So we covered a lot more than that, but I think people should just dive in, have a good time.
Just listen to the Janne. Be mesmerized. Enjoy.
Yes.
So, I'm Jimo.
I'm Dan Enmacher.
And this is
Alchemy on the Island.
Highland. You said Highland.
Alchemy. On the island. Would you like to join us on the show in the world on alchemy?
Right, phone's off.
Okay.
Beep boop bop.
Yes. All right. You recording?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start like we always start with holding hands.
All right.
And
Om mane padme om.
Oh wow! Did you learn it yesterday in the talk, or did you know it from before?
I have heard of that one before.
But because like that's like what's good, like you know.
Yeah.
Okay, let's stop holding hands.
It's getting a little strange.
Okay, so hello everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello Dan. Hello Janne.
Janne.
Good to be here. Good to be here. Big fan of the show.
Oh, our first fan.
Like all Finnish people.
Yeah.
Because Janne is from Finland.
Yeah.
Our main our main pool
Fan
of,
base.
of
Yeah,
audience.
all three of us are big fans of yours. So.
Yeah,
Thank you.
for one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, let's start straight away. Let's.
Did Jimo
Let's
tell
easy.
you what this podcast is about today?
No. First of all,
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's him set this up.
you didn't get the memo I sent yesterday, like with all the questions.
I mean, I don't have time for 50 pages, man.
Right, exactly. So no, seriously, who do we have here? This is the main thing. Like before we start deciding what we're talking about. So we have here the key element, the key figure in every single, I would say, attempt of building a pyramid. Not a pyramid scheme, a pyramid. Like
Okay.
you want to have that one person that fixes the silly ideas of the architect, the complaints of the client, the incapacity of the workers, right? Like takes care of the admin and all of that. All of this is in the hands of one figure.
Okay. You're
All
teeing,
right,
you're teeing up a
you're-
big game here.
Yes.
Real big game.
I'm feeling the weight on my shoulders already.
The wife.
Oh, well, I
yeah,
didn't. I forgot to bring her. I'm really sorry about that.
The engineer.
Uh-huh.
So today we have the engineer of the
Alright.
school, the person that is going to sort out every single technical
The
issue,
inconsistencies.
everything,
gray areas.
everything.
Oh dear.
No pressure on you, Janne. No pressure. But you have to fix everything, and this is like your role throughout the whole of the podcast, as it's gonna run like for many years to come. Every
Alright.
season you'll have to come and fix things.
Put it back together.
You're gonna have to fix things.
Fixer.
So,
All
the
right.
fixer. So, ladies and gentlemen, and is it? I mean, like, do you have to add other categories now, in terms of work things? Is ladies and gentlemen still okay to say?
I think we haven't quite gotten to like transforming that, but I'm pretty sure
It will.
it's going to.
Right. Okay. For now, ladies
now.
and gentlemen, whoever else like wants to join,
Yeah.
here we have Janne, and first and foremost, we'd like to ask our basic questions, which are: Who are you?
Mm.
Why are you here? How did you get here? What brought you to these practices, these ideas? Like
A little bit of your
origin
the arc of your story.
Yeah. Well, people want to imagine you, right? Like they want
Yeah.
to know a bit. So,
All right.
it's people.
So maybe we start with the second question first, like how I got into these arts, because
Yeah.
then we can weave in like what who I am, what I do.
He's already taking control. I love it. Go on.
Yes.
I love it.
Cool.
So, in my early 20s, I was studying for my software engineering degree, and at the same time working for a Finnish NGO. And
So if, 1 second. So it's software engineering.
originally, yes. Do we need
that's
to
a-
cancel the podcast, or?
Wait.
I'm slightly. The software. Okay. All right. Go on. Go on.
Yeah. There's more disappointment down the line, so get used to it. So anyway, I was working for a Finnish NGO and ended up leading the national team at one point. And I had all kinds of ideas about like what it takes to lead that team, and kind of like in my ripe age of 22 at that point, I'm like, okay, I got it. I have to figure this out. I need to do the right thing, be wise, be patient, just like all the leaders in the books are. And it was a bit harder than that, turns out. And I ended up an emotional wreck by the end of my 1-year term running that organization.
Ooh. At a ripe old age of 22?
So, well, by then I was 23, so I
Okay,
think it was
okay.
about time for
Okay.
burnout. So
Yeah.
that's
Sorry,
fine.
it's fine.
And I started it led me to a bit of a crisis of faith in terms of like, okay, if I can't like just put up that face and like show up to work and do the right thing all the time, like where's the source of strength if it's not in doing the right things? And it planted the question of like, what is this internal source of strength? And some years later, I found myself in Malaysia working for a local software company. And at that point, by then I had gotten really into Ken Wilber's work. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar.
No
I'm
idea.
familiar, yeah.
Well, I mean,
he's the great dot joiner, right?
Dot joiner indeed. So,
Fill me in.
What does that mean? Yeah.
the short of his philosophy that, at least the part that really impressed something on me was like he started looking at all these truth claims you have out there, anything from like gravity causes acceleration towards the ground, to, okay, if you do this type of meditation practice, you'll have this experience. And he was trying to line all these different truth claims up with each other, and some of them just didn't match or connect.
Right.
So he started mapping, like, okay, what are the different dimensions of truth claims you need to take into account. There are some that are about your subjective experience, others are about the objective world out there, some are about the entity itself, some are about the relationships between entities.
Okay.
And he kind of like had all kinds of maps and categories for these things, and it kind of like really fascinated my engineering mind, like somebody's got it figured out.
What's his name? Ken
Wilber.
Wilber. Okay.
And
there are some issues with dot joining as well.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And the chief among them, at least for me, was that the mind is a tricky beast. It tries to then try to map everything and just extract these ideas out of the experience, and you can't really ever capture experience fully in words and models. But anyway, it was helpful for me to kind of make space for other things in my reality than just the objective world out there.
Yeah.
He, among other things, he hinted at meditation being something that's worth pursuing, and at this point I'm like, all right. So I found myself in Malaysia, and after a while there, it turns out, like, in any world you are, any country you're in, like, no matter how exotic it is from the outset, like, life's pretty routine. So I was kind of like,
There's some commonalities there.
Yeah, so I was showing up for my work, having lunch with friends, going back home after the afternoon shift, having some dinner, maybe hitting the gym, rinse and repeat weeks on end, and I'm like, there must be more to life. So I signed up for a meditation retreat. One of those 10-day silent Goenka meditation retreats.
Nice. You were how old around this time, or what year?
Was I was 26 when I went for my first meditation retreat, and just packed my bags and went to the eastern part of the Malaysian peninsula, and sat my 10 days there, and had some experiences that led me to believe that there was a bit more to the human experience that I had encountered so far. And it wasn't kind of like a massive realization experience, or although there were some, how should I say, things that I found hard to fit into my worldview at that point, but enough to kind of plant the seed that, okay, this is worth pursuing. So then for the next 12 or so years, I was mostly doing Buddhist meditation practice. And
in the Vipassana Goenka lineage?
So that's a good question. I started with that for the first 2 years, Goenka style and Mahasi Sayadaw style Burmese Vipassana practice, which is very much about just sitting and staring at your reality until it starts to fall apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very pleasant.
Many people do. Sit literally and stare at the reality, and it falls apart.
Yes,
that goes to shit.
They along with it. So but quite soon after that, I found my way to my long-term Buddhist teacher, who just happens to share the hometown with Ken Wilber and with Dan, I believe.
Ah.
Yeah. So from hailing from Boulder, Colorado, I found Reggie Ray, who's comes from a Tibetan Buddhist lineage in many ways, but also pulls in influence from other traditions. And his key insight that I think had a massive influence on my path was that the body is the gateway to spirituality. So
that's a different way of looking at it.
Yeah. So instead of the mind looking at the experience of the body, you let the mind almost diffuse its way into the body. So the discursive mind just recedes into the background, and all that exists is the immediate experience of the body.
Yeah.
And that then becomes a gateway to vaster experience.
So there's a lot of what do you call it, somatic practices, this thing, right? Which is because I vaguely know of Reggie Ray, actually, upon your suggestion a while ago. I looked him up, but I don't know exactly how that works. If you can give us in a nutshell.
In a nutshell,
Did you write in a nutshell?
Yeah, compress the 10 years into a nutshell. But I think maybe a good way in would be to look at some one of the foundational practices, which he calls the 10 points practice,
Right.
which quite often is taught lying down.
I tried it.
Yeah.
I fell asleep every single time I
Excellent.
tried. No way of staying awake for more than 10 minutes for me to do that.
It might be an indication you're a bit sleep deprived.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
So anyway, the essence of the practice is that you place your mind in various parts of your body, and really let the experience of that, I don't know, like take your left big toe, the experience of that come to the fore. So like all the like subtle tingling, aching, whatever you feel in that area, without labeling it anyway, let that come to the fore, and then moving on to the next part of the body. And as you go about it, having a gentle nudge for that part of the body to relax and open up. And as you go about that, so like your mind also down-regulates from that all that busyness that is going on, at least in my mind.
Nervous system.
Yeah, exactly. And at the same time, the experience of the body opens up further and further until you end up in this state where at the foreground is this like cloud of sensations that your mind just like sinks into. And then from there you can explore like how that cloud of sensations has no boundaries and your mind is just as vast as space.
Okay.
So that becomes like step one, get in your body. Step two, just there's a few like intermediate steps somewhere along the way, but you know that perhaps gives you a flavor of what this somatic meditation is all about.
Okay.
So I spent the next 10 years then studying with Reggie, and parallel to that, to Jimo's great disappointment, I left the craft of engineering behind. Yes, and start because I got
still on the inside.
Yes,
somewhere.
yes. It's still there. You can't ever get engineering out of a person.
Right.
It's a terminal disease. So I went more into organizational consulting, so looking at the systems that are composed of people and how they interact in at large scales. So that's even today that is what I do for professionally.
Okay.
And then I guess to fast forward to the present day. What happened with that particular community was there was some internal strife that I don't want to go into in the context of this podcast particularly, but it led to a situation where it seemed like that organization and the opportunity to study just did no longer exist.
Okay. Well,
And
that happens.
it does happen. And
Yeah, I've heard a little bit of what happened on the inside from other people.
Yeah. And it led me to a situation where I did not have a clear vehicle to continue my practice, and I had also at that point just left my corporate job to hang my own shingle and go out on my own. So a lot of
transition.
Yeah, indeed, and we had also at that point left Kuala Lumpur, the capital of Malaysia, behind.
We referring to you and
me and
Jinpei.
my dear wife, yes,
Yeah.
Jinpei. So we had packed up our bags and decided to explore new places. Me working remotely, her working remotely, and then this thing happened with our spiritual community as well.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, searching around, checking out other Tibetan teachers. They didn't quite have the same, how should I put it, engagement with the direct experience of being human, really.
Yeah.
Or at least it wasn't a door that I saw in those practices. So then I was reminded by something that Reggie actually said, which was that, hey, you should all like do Qigong on the side. And I'm like, well, I mean, since I have the time, I might as well now like Google Qigong.
Yeah, just a little nudge from Reggie.
Exactly,
Okay.
yeah. So, I then ended up on the Daobam's forums, which is a wonderful place of helpful people and confused people and helpfully confused people. Yeah, all the internet in one place. So, and somehow I started to vet out potential teachers to study with. I didn't even particularly know Qigong, what Qigong was, aside from that thing you do to move the mumble energy around your body. And so then I narrowed it down to a handful of teachers and signed up for our current teacher's course online.
So you picked Damo first.
Yes.
Oh, well done.
Nice.
Right in the bullseye.
Well
I mean, we all know that this is the best possible thing there is. So yeah, that's what I did.
Cool.
I then signed up for the online course, and this was right during the pandemic, so there wasn't really any other option.
Yeah.
Then went to check him out in person in 2022, and
Which is when we meet.
yes, we did. In fact, in
Sweden.
Sweden. Yeah. So that was my first opportunity to study with him in person, and I liked what I saw. And then he, a year later, announced that he's moving to my backyard. Being as it is that I was living in Malaysia at that point,
Yeah.
or so in Southeast Asia at that point. So, of course, I took the opportunity and signed up. So
Right.
here we are in 2024, November. Possibly 24th.
You're originally from Finland,
That is right.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where it's this big qigong community.
Oh yeah.
So I like that you talked about Ken Wilber.
Hmm.
I thought so too.
Yeah. Not because I'm the biggest Ken Wilber fan in the world.
Yeah.
I think he's got some interesting ideas. He brought a lot of people into spiritual life and opening their minds a bit. I think
Yeah.
there was a big service there. But we kind of wanted to title this episode like "Building the Map"
Oh, all right.
or something like that.
All right.
We'll see how it shakes out. But but the idea being like instead of doing what Ken does, which is take from like totally different traditions around the world and try to like connect them together. We're like, well, even just the project of taking the Eastern internal arts and trying to map them together, which they're actually seem to be intended to fit together. But to actually start to map that together and well, how do they fit together? How do they build on each other? How do they play into each other? What is the map that we're we're walking in Bali? Because even that feels confusing.
Yeah, and we don't even say like the Daoist internal. Let's say the Daoist internal arts in our system.
Right.
It was like
Within our
then-
system.
Yeah, because then as soon as you walk out the door, people do things very differently
Yeah.
all everywhere. So yeah, the idea is to ground you here. And since you have initiated a project that you aptly called Noah's Ark project, that you, myself, and a few other people have been involved loosely over the last few months in trying to map what we are doing here in a coherent fashion. And since I have seen how bordering the futile and anyway leading to the neurotic such a project has proved to be, we thought we'd like you to lead us through that concept here in the podcast so that even people at home can understand that this thing is extremely simple yet extremely convoluted at the same time, and it's mind-boggling, right? Like in so many ways. So we would like to try and make a little sense of the whole thing, but we know that probably even through your powers of engineering, we might not get, of course, to a solid map. Also because there are things that we are not allowed to discuss, there are things that we are not in any capacity to discuss, I think. But yeah, trying to do that.
Yeah. All right. That's
And I think the whole process isn't perfect, right? Like,
Exactly.
like you said earlier, like no map is going to really
yeah.
cover it or do it justice. It's the finger pointing at the moon. But for me, like the way my mind works, it likes to have a little framework.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's so many practices that we're doing and so much information that I get a little lost of where are we in that framework.
Yeah. Also because so much of this framework or this system is explained to us in different ways at different times, depending on where Damo, our teacher, wants to put an accent in that moment, where he wants to lead our attention, what's the main, let's say, quality that he wants to emphasize in that particular moment, or skill that he wants us to develop, or understanding that he wants us to get. So they're it's always explained in different ways, and then like we have the job of comparing these different explanations and trying to figure out how they are matching, right?
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes, interestingly enough, they don't match. Like they literally
At least they don't
yeah.
seem to.
We like to think that we just know, but probably they don't. And I think that's one of the main aspects that I like, or the aspect I mainly like about these practices and philosophies, is that the principle of non-contradiction that is so dear to Greek philosophy at some stage, like it just doesn't. It's not it's not there. Like thing A is equal B and it's different from B at the same time, and it's fine like that. It's okay.
All right, let's try to break it down here. We're talking a lot of it in like speculatives.
Yeah.
So my sense is like maybe we can start here. Like the primary goal, like where are we headed?
Yeah.
Right.
Just before we even go there, like I think like
I want to try to ask questions.
Let me pose a question to myself.
Great. Great.
No,
Slow down.
I think there's a also like what is our relationship to maps and where are they useful?
Sure.
I think is
Sure.
a question that's
Great.
worth answering as well. When I first started with these arts, like with all the Burmese Vipassana practices, some of them are like really map heavy. At least the way certain teachers frame them.
Yeah.
And
like linear. would you say?
Well, even linear, yes.
Yeah.
And more so like very defined, like, okay, you'll have this experience, which feels like this, and then you'll have that experience, and then that
Yeah.
experience, and then
Very
double
mapped
check,
out.
and then,
Yeah.
okay, now you've completed the first level, and you move on to level 2, where you'll have these 17 experiences, and boom.
Uh-huh.
So,
Right. It's kind of video game.
yeah,
quality.
almost. And like, it was detrimental to my practice in many
Uh-huh.
ways.
Too mapped.
Yeah, because like a couple of things started happening. Like one was that my mind started getting very fixated on where I was on the map,
Yeah.
Right.
rather than where I was in the territory,
Uh-huh.
which I think is a much more helpful question.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, was that arising and passing? Am I already at arising and passing? And oh no, maybe it was that part of the process. No, hang on.
Uh-huh.
And also trying to like almost like subconsciously engineer the experiences. So like, okay, I think
It's
I'm
supposed
feeling
to be here, so.
yeah, exactly. So like the maps kind of be here is exactly the word, because like the maps then became like a obstacle for me to be present with what's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and then like Reggie's approach was very much like pulling the carpet out under me, like when it came to any of these questions around like where am I, like what's the next step, and how am I doing, and he kind of didn't really let us hang on to like mental constructs of what was happening.
Yeah.
Which was super helpful for me at that phase, because it kind of took my engineering mind and
Yeah.
rattled it all good and
Good balancing.
yeah, exactly. And like I'm still able to do maps, fortunately, but at least I'm not completely obsessed with them. So then when we're looking at maps in here, like I think the mapping in some ways is more helpful than the maps. Like you're
The
surveying
process of.
exactly, like you're surveying the territory you walked. You look forward. Some of the like parts of the map are like inspirational stories of where you could be heading. Like, oh, Mount Rainier is that way, and like it's got this beautiful snow-capped top, and you're like, cool, never seen that. I think I want to go there one day, maybe.
Yeah, hot chocolate now.
Yeah, exactly, precisely that. So you like sit down and brew your hot chocolate, and then you look at like, okay, there's a thick forest path, forest with a path going through it. Okay, maybe I'll just focus on that for now.
Right.
So
So would you say that
Yeah.
this process or this school is sort of in between the Vipassana and the Reggie Ray in terms of like
Maybe.
how linear, how mapped
Well,
it can be?
I think of like we're offered a lot of maps, and we're not explicitly, at least I'm not hearing explicit guidance on how to relate to those maps.
Yes.
So I could imagine
Or how they fit together.
yeah, I could imagine some of us kind of going like, oh my god, I can't make any sense of this, forget it.
Yeah.
And others, like myself, might have a tendency to obsess over the maps and like try to fit it together.
Uh-huh.
So, and then there's a spectrum in between.
Sure.
So,
And that already identifies one of the limitation, if you want, of like the first kind of approach you described, that of
Yeah.
having a very precise map. That in the end we're all different. We all there are these practices are procedural. Can you say that like procedure? Well, I mean like they're mapped. They're linear in some ways, and there are clear signs of progress, and all that is true. But at the same time, there is also how we interpreted the signs, how we move our mind into understanding how to get to those results and things.
Yeah.
There is a degree of subjectivity, at least in the way we look at the map, if
Yeah,
not
yeah,
in the
yeah.
map itself. So we have to take that into account. If you focus too much on the map, you risk losing that element as well.
100%, yeah. Like they seem to be helpful for like making space for my experience. Like, oh, let me look at that part of my experience. Oh, I didn't even know that's possible. They also seem to be helpful for selecting, kind of orienting my mind to what practice I should be focusing on.
Right.
And providing some inspiration on what's ahead. Is this path going in a direction I even care about?
Right.
So, they're useful to an extent, but I mean, if I know the mountains roughly in that direction, trundle ahead. Like, don't worry too much if I got the exact route at the 55th turn at 17 kilometers into the journey. Like, we'll figure that out later.
Cliffs and yetis. But also, I think it's very important to remember that the map can be useful when you're not practicing. Can be useful when you're in the assessment of the practice and all these things.
Yeah,
but
I suppose
when
so, yeah.
you're actually practicing, the map has to be completely forgotten.
In the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
In the
Yeah.
moment, you really don't have to focus on where I'm going to go there. Like, blah, blah,
Oh,
blah.
definitely, yeah.
So that's the thing for like speculation in front of a cup of tea.
Yes. So with those caveats out of the way,
Yeah,
do you guys
okay.
mind repeating the question you had originally, so we can
Yeah.
so we can stay on your agenda as well.
Well, that's generous.
I think I just want to start painting a map, right?
Yeah, sure.
So my thought of like how to do that would be to first put sort of the primary focal point
Mhm.
on the map,
Mm.
which to me, and maybe you guys have different opinions,
Mm.
is basically to put in place the causative factors that lead us to connection with which is eternal in our beings.
Okay.
It's the kind of, to me, like the most sort of broad goal that we seem to
Right.
be aiming at.
Yeah, like I would say that I would agree. Like I think for our podcast listeners, I might phrase it as like that which is beyond the self.
Yeah, sure.
Like just because, like I don't want to speculate on the nature of what is it that is beyond the self, but there does seem to be something that sometimes pokes its head into my experience and seems to be something different from my everyday experience.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Which could be, there's like layers of being.
Yeah.
True self, soul, spirit, it kind of goes.
Yeah, many traditions have many labels to that territory, so I don't have personal direct experience enough to be able to slice it very finely, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the crazy things when you start hearing people like the Buddhists are really good, but Daoists as well. Like when they start like giving you numbers and specific qualifications. So there are like 156 qualities of the mind, like 322 realms, and you think, really, did you actually count? Is it possible to count them when you this thing fit? But that's totally beyond my.
So if we're aiming beyond the self, the constructed sense of
Yeah.
self, the ego self, whatever you
Yeah.
want to label it, we're doing tons of different external martial arts, internal martial arts, health practices,
Energy practice.
energy practices, alchemy practices that lead towards truer, deeper states of meditation.
Mm.
So even Bernard was saying that calligraphy and Chinese medicine are all part of this larger process and larger map. So how would where would you start on that map if we could start to paint a picture?
What's the core of the practices? Let's say.
And how do
would be
things
like,
start to fit together, at least in your mind?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the right thing.
Yeah. It's a good question. Like, I'm tempted to like pick let's start with the end of the journey, but since I don't have really that much direct experience with that side of the territory,
Don't be modest.
come on, like I hide my soul well. Is that what you're saying? Thank you. In some ways, like maybe just sticking with the very grounded and practical of what's at the very beginning of the path. Like as Dan was hinting, like a lot is encompassed in this arts. Like in many ways, our whole life and working with our situation, just in a very practical way.
Right.
So whether that's like Bernard said, tea or other Chinese arts, I would say that it's also our like day-to-day psychology and our work,
Yeah.
our relationships, like all of that creates conditions that hinder or help our path.
So there are conditions of mind,
Yeah,
and then there are practices.
yeah, you could say that, like conditions of mind and body and life in
Yep.
general. So, and then there are practices.
Yeah.
So, in like with that out of the way, I think it's helpful to then like zoom in on like what are these specific practices we're working on here, and one of the first milestones that it's like that I see and hear described is building the Dantian.
Yeah. The lower Dantian.
Yeah, lower Dantian is a term that comes up over and over, and seems to be kind of the, at least in my view, like the one like entryway into the courtyard,
Yep.
where all the other practices become available in many ways.
Right. Yeah.
So maybe that's something we could unpack. Like, what is this Dantian? How do you build it? Does that sound like a direction we want to
Unpack
head in?
ahead.
Yeah.
Unpack
That's
ahead.
the key in the
dear.
ignition.
Oh dear,
Yeah.
I'm going to make a fool of myself because everybody else will be pointing out the errors in my maps.
Yes, that's why we wanted you here.
Excellent.
It's all about the process.
Yes. So, when I hear talk about qi, which is so central to the way like these Chinese arts are described, like there's a lot of different kinds of ways that is being described online. Like it is the universal life force that connects everything, and it's the thing that gives Jedi's their powers. No, wait, that was
breath
that's
or-
the force. So
Similar.
yeah, so, but we can also like approach it where we meet it in a very grounded way, like in our bodies. And okay, do we label it like okay, we can label that very grounded experience qi, and maybe qi is way more than that, but at least we have a way in.
Yeah.
So for me, like the first encounters of what we term qi in this school were when we were doing a practice called Dan Tian Gong, where you direct your awareness and your breath, and in some ways, like the relaxation of your tissues all gather in the lower abdomen.
Yeah, your center gathers down
Yeah.
there, center of gravity.
And at that point, the tissues started to engage in ways that I've not experienced before.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's been aptly described as having a tense machine, a electrical current, like tensing the muscles inside my abdominal cavity, which I've not had before. Like
Also, an angry ferret.
Angry
Nearby.
ferret. Yeah.
Yes. The tensing and gathering isn't always very organized.
Yeah.
So, and it turns out that gathering of like condensing that happens in the lower abdomen is also something we can then learn to manipulate with our how should I say, the interface between our mind and body, to then like move that around our bodies.
Primarily with Lao Gong, which is
Yes,
the center of the palm.
Yeah, so the
Yeah.
palms seem to be able to guide that experience of denseness around our bodies, which then is how what seems to be the entryway into a lot of the mechanics of qigong practices, which is about gathering and moving qi. Now we have actually an interface for that.
Right.
Same with in Tai Chi, qi has slightly different connotations, but there's a similar sort of movement of tissues that takes place. So again, there needs to be an interface between the body and the mind to create that movement.
Right. And Tai Chi does build Qi perhaps a little bit slower.
So
than
I've
some of the
heard, yeah.
Neogong.
Yeah, it's a bit hard for me to like personally tease that apart because we're doing multiple arts here
Right.
together.
It's
so
hard to tell.
yeah,
directly.
what has an effect and what doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so you'd say so that the lower dantian is the battery and the energy, the engine that you build at first, you activate at first, because in theory we had it already, like as kids
Yeah.
and all that, and then you kind of lose control of it. We reactivate it, we re-energize it,
Regather.
and regather it. Yes, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
And with that, you have the opportunity to then fuel and energize all of the other practices that until then you're kind of
Yeah.
only formally learning, like you're learning the shapes somehow. You're
That's
learning
right.
certain
That's right.
easy
Yeah.
mechanics, or not easy, like because sometimes they're really not easy, but you external mechanics, and then once you have access to this specific energy in your energy
Yeah.
in your energy center, you can activate them differently, and then they all start.
Yeah.
Okay, working. Okay, so
Yeah.
Building the workshop.
And
Yes.
just for our listeners here, like as we're using terms like qi and energy and such, like for the sake of this conversation, like I'd like to frame them as just pointers towards an experience. Like you don't need to take it as a metaphysical reality, but more like we're using these terms to describe an experience in our body.
right, good point.
Which we're all having, maybe slightly
yes,
differently, but
indeed.
it seems to be there's some similarities there.
Yeah, so it's hard to dispute the reality of something you're experiencing in the moment. You might say like, no, okay, it's not a universal life force, fine, but you're having that experience of a density gathering in your abdomen that you're able to move around your body with your palms.
It
So
feels like an angry ferret.
yes, so
Or a fish.
so that's the first gateway that I think allows us access to the courtyard of these practices, and to get there, I think if we just like run through like quickly the understanding of what that takes.
Yeah, great.
It takes a certain like ability to open and relax the tissues, so that we're not holding our how should I say holding our center of gravity high up in our bodies. Now I know for the engineers out there, the center of gravity may mean the point around which a body spins in space, but if like here, like take it more as an experiential thing. Like if you tense your shoulders and pull them up towards your ears, something feels like it rises up in your body, does it not?
Right.
That something is what we're talking about here.
Like you're taking all
Yeah.
the other, keeping them at bay.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
engineers.
Yeah.
We don't want no engineer battles right quite yet. so like one of the factors needs to be this like relaxation of tissues, so that the tissues can start to loosen up and gather towards the lower abdominal area.
Which, sorry to interrupt,
Yes.
hence the reason for all the opening exercises and
Bingo.
all the stretches and all the multiple things that we do to open up the body
Yeah.
and connect the tissues and make them all relax in a specific way, so that the bone structure stays solid and upright, but the tissues release and relax onto that structure, creating
Bingo.
a certain elastic tension.
As well as a lot of the static standing practices also need to have that same quality to them.
Right.
The breath and the mind also need to settle down there. So if we're in a stressed state, again, this is something that people can experientially identify with. Like, it feels like at least I feel it, like there's a buzzing between my ears and like right in my eyebrows, like, people are a bit stressed up.
Right.
And
Right.
calm
She
down.
likes to rise when you're
Calm
tense.
down.
Yeah, like the stress. We're stressed up, but we calm down.
Yeah.
Like it's in the words already. Like
Right.
clearly, like this is an experience that very mundane. So we need to calm down and bring our like loosen up our tissues. And the next thing that we need to do then is like using certain ways of holding our body, and that guides our mind to that same area. And after a while of fiddling about, the keys in the ignition, and the tissues start to pull together
Right.
in that area. So we're at the courtyard.
Right. And we're not yet having a direct experience of chi. We are experiencing how the chi is interacting with our body. So like the tissues pull, and this is what chi is doing to our tissues. We're still not actually understanding experiencing chi itself.
That's my understanding. Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets much deeper when you can actually perceive.
But here's again a comparison point I'd like to draw in, which is have you experienced gravity?
No,
God,
just the
it's a
effects.
trick
Yeah,
question.
exactly.
Just
And
the
like
effects.
even like we've never
Yeah.
witnessed gravity itself. Like it
Yeah,
bends
so-
light in the in astronomy. It pulls bodies towards Earth. It pulls planets towards each other. But we don't really see gravity.
Right.
So it's not that unusual to have like phenomena where we can only like see the effects rather than the.
Yeah.
I think they
thing
also
itself.
use classically they use the parallel of the metaphor of the wind also,
The
right?
wind,
like
yeah.
you don't actually see wind, you see the effects of the wind,
Yeah.
like stuff that moves and things.
Yeah, well, then I suppose you could make an argument that you can get to the air molecules and so on. But yes, okay. So,
Oh, we're
the
going-
classical
we're
like
going
that.
deep.
sorry, Jim. Gravity is a better
Sorry,
example.
I go back to my seat. Sorry. Excuse me. I will come left.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, so we have a Dantian that's humming along.
Right, which could take a few hours to 2 years.
Yeah, it seems to vary a lot. Like
It's very varied.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it's a bit like you set the conditions in place, and then it takes a bit of like poking around in your own experience, which to an extent other people can guide you in, but a lot of it is just like experimentation.
Yeah.
with
And
your
also
own, yeah.
how we've lived. Right?
Oh, yeah,
For
big
me,
time.
having
Yeah,
some health struggles for most of my life, it took me a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't done tons of drugs. I haven't like burned the candle at both ends, but my body's been using up energy.
Yeah.
Other people I've seen, like the conditions were ripe. They just need a little nudge with the practice, and boom,
Yeah.
within hours.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Not me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And this is perhaps like where like crossover between practices also helps. Like
yeah.
I had like a decade of Buddhist meditation practice under my belt. My body wasn't prepared for this kind of practice, but my mind, was reasonably good at calming down, as I mentioned earlier. So it didn't take me all that long to get to a point where there was a contact point between the mind and the body, and
Right.
this density started to gather.
Mhm.
Then it took me a whole lot of time with other things, but some things came at least.
We all have our sticky
Yeah,
points and our
exactly.
areas of
Right.
expertise.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the key in ignition.
Yes, key in the ignition. Now the question is like, what do you want to do with that?
You can do a lot of things with
You can
that.
do a lot of things with that. So here's where I think like things branch off a bit. Like if somebody's interest is primarily in martial arts, you learn to mobilize your tissues to produce force that's has applications in. I mean, don't think UFC here. Think more like, well, maybe at a very, very, very high level that might be a
Maybe.
thing, but more just like using this chi to generate force that then becomes an interesting way to, I guess, work with at least certain kinds of, if not fighting, at least like playing with other people's force.
Yeah, I think it could be honed to use for self-defense.
I
and things
suppose,
like
yeah,
that.
like at the higher levels, it just seems like the mechanics of it would take like decades of practice rather than learning how to just like punch somebody in the face and move on.
Yeah,
Sure,
true.
yeah. If you want to do the quickest route.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it's also those once you have them in place, that kind of mechanics, that kind of strength is not only quite versatile, but it's also very long-term, long-lasting, right? Like
It's
a
not
kind
subject
of
to age. so
yeah,
much.
exactly. Like while
Yeah.
your regular muscle pulling, tendon pulling mechanics like will deteriorate quite fast once you pass, I don't know, like 50s, 60s or something like that.
Yeah, it does
Like,
seem that way. Yeah.
Apparently, if all goes well, like when you actually learn how to use your internal tissues and activate them through chi and all of that, that's you're gonna be less prone to that decay, even in terms of
The strength.
the strength
Yeah.
and the quality of your bones and the osteoporosis, these kind of things like should be much less present. Although like then there's a lot of Tai Chi teachers that die when they're like 50, so like that kind of whatever. But
Yeah, so which perhaps brings us to the second pillar of application. So we mentioned like internal martial arts. Another is medicine. Like it's not something I'm actively practicing, although I'm dabbling in learning some of it. But it seems like you can also in various ways use that to work on other people's tissues and quote unquote energy field here.
right.
Through acupuncture and some hands-on practices. So that's one application where this Dantian can be a gateway towards, like, it takes a bit more than a Dantian, but
Yeah.
you
Sure,
know,
but this is the start.
yeah. And then there's your own health, and then there are spiritual applications. I think that more or less covers the ones that we've been working with here. There may be other things that I'm not aware of, but at
Sure.
least those seem to be the things that we work with.
Right.
Yes, and each of these things feeds onto the others, right? Like they
they're not just
they're
separate,
circular, right? They're
right.
not separate. right?
Classically, you learned all of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lots of cross-training benefits for sure as well. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, once, for example, practicing Tai Chi is very beneficial for releasing tissues and relaxing the body in the correct way, right? Like and mobilizing the tissues and detaching them from the bones and make them more elastic and more conductive of Qi. So that then when you're in your Neigong practice, which is Neigong is being and Qigong being the practice that is more involved directly, specifically with the energy, like you reap the benefit of the Tai Chi because
Yes.
like your body is going to be more conductive. It's going to be easier to, because for example, when you start activating the Dantian, and the lower Dantian is one of 3 more famous ones and 300 million unnamed Dantians in the body. When you start activating the first Dantian and the others, like it's a very erratic and jerky process, and depending how much energy you have, like for if you're very young and very energetic, like it can be very jerky in the literal sense. The Dantian might pull you in all directions. This energy inside will pull you because your tissues are tense. Like your internal body is not
Tense in the wrong way.
yeah, tense
We're
in the wrong
actually
way.
trying to
Sorry,
build
right.
tension.
It's tight, like in
Right?
the wrong way. Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yes, and while instead, if you have your Tai Chi working with you, and if you received, I don't know, like good Chinese medicine and stuff like this as well, like your tissues are gonna be way more able to orient themselves in the right way and position themselves and pull in the right ways, and the energy body will build faster because of that, like, and you'll be able to achieve greater results quicker. So that's one example of many in which there is overlapping between all these things, and that's also why we are practicing them, because ultimately the main aim of our teacher in his practice, I believe, but also for us in this school, is not a single martial art or anything like that. It is what?
Connecting to the soul, I would. But I don't want to put words in his mouth, but that seems to be something he's emphasizing a whole lot. So
Yes.
that which is eternal.
Yes. So all the rest we are learning in that direction, kind of.
Yeah.
Right.
Even though sometimes it's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell because actually we enjoy all the other things, and they're good things. I mean, like using the word martial artist for me, like it's ridiculous for me, for myself actually. Like the other day, like my friend Camilla, whom I've already mentioned, like in another episode, I think she possibly had been drinking or something. She sent me a text in the middle of the night going like, "So you are a martial artist?" Like she was like, because she just made the connection between martial arts. I practice martial arts, so I'm a martial artist. She said, "You're a martial artist?" And like she was like in utter confusion by this time, thinking about me and putting my face and the word in her mind and the word martial artist next to it, like was very ridiculous. So Why was I talking about this? I say, okay,
I was
I'm
about to
yeah,
ask.
yeah, right, like I really am not a martial artist, no, but I really thoroughly enjoy the practice we're doing. Right? I really enjoy both external, internal martial arts, all of them, even those in which I suck the most at. Like I do enjoy them, so it's great to do them. But ultimately, I think even for myself, if I had was to be asked, like, so you want to make the martial arts the center of your life and the purpose of your life, or would you rather it be like the soul searching? I would probably go for soul searching, and also like exploring the potential of the mind, the mind as in not the rational basic mind, but the mind beyond the mind beyond the mind. I don't know how to call it. Right? So yeah.
I've also sometimes wondered about the path we're walking here, like it's not a pilgrimage in the sense that you have a guaranteed destination that we're going to land ourselves in. Like, if I'm honest with myself, I don't know if the soul exists.
Right, of course.
So I think like the attitude I'm taking to a lot of this, like what's out there, like what is the potential of the path, is that I don't really need to believe, but I do think it's necessary to not disbelieve.
Right. Open mind.
Yeah, and like when I'm, if I'm taking my engineer hat on, like like if I'm approaching territory for which there is no evidence, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not real.
Right.
As long as I can see forward on the path far enough that I say, like, okay, the next few steps are interesting, useful, and I'm inspired by where this journey might ultimately lead.
Right.
That's enough for me.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's good to keep that explorer in mind, because also like, I want to get to the soul, Let's even say that the getting to the soul is possible and it's actually a thing, there is a soul. We 100% sure it's good. Maybe you get to the soul and it sucks. I meet my soul.
Yeah.
I finally grow my golden embryo in the middle of my body. That is the soul.
guy.
Blah, and then, it's fucking
that's a
boring.
letdown.
And now I'm stuck with it in the middle of my. Oh no! I could have used my last 10 years doing something else.
I remember Damo talking about recently, like oftentimes in Eastern arts they don't talk about the thing. They talk about what it isn't, and they talk about the causative factors that lead you in that direction. They don't really talk about the thing very
and they
much.
talk also, what was the thing? Not the outcomes, but like
byproducts.
Byproducts of obtaining it.
Right, like
It's
if you're
really
heading in
interesting
that direction, what are going to be some of the byproducts? Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
It's great.
But because talking about the thing seems to create concepts and tactics.
Yeah, and if I'm just thinking about my own goals for why I'm doing this practice, like I am very, very fascinated about where the path may ultimately lead, and I can also like see short-term things that are useful, like just getting physically fitter. That's
That doesn't sound bad.
that sounds good on balance, and then also like there are promises of like rather unusual levels of vitality that seem to be still like within reach.
Not just standard health, but
Unusual
high
levels.
levels.
Yeah, exactly. Like rejuvenation of tissues as some of these processes activate certain hormonal pathways in the body.
You've got that. What's the name of the guy? The millionaire, like idiotic.
Brian Johnson?
Yeah, you've got the Brian Johnson gene in you, huh? Like,
I don't know if I want to be Brian Johnson, but
oh man, please don't.
I do have respect for him in that he is willing to put himself out there and like is running
experiment on himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
but
I've heard like some people experimenting with what he's teaching and finding great improvements in their health.
Cool.
So I'm not going to diss that. It's not my choice of how I want to pursue this, but power to them. So.
Yeah, I think personally I'd rather try a path that has been time tested over thousands of years.
Yeah.
Many people.
And honestly, I'd be happy to be proven wrong about where I'm headed. And somebody else is like, hey, look, I got a better path to the soul and vitality and all that. I'm like, whoa, thanks so much. Honestly, like, why wouldn't I?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, it sounds like you're talking about generally an open mind, right? Like meeting the practices without a lot of concepts.
Should we go back to the map?
Oh, damn, I thought I had...
Where are we?
So we are in the map. We've got the ignition key. We're in the in the courtyard.
We're in the courtyard.
And we've been, like doing some fun stuff in this courtyard. Courtyard. We're doing it. Like, so how
Some
does
of it
that,
fits
how does
together.
that, so there is this thing. So you've got like the battery in your belly
Yes.
and then the soul. Well, what's in between?
See, so, no, what's in between? So,
A lot of chi building.
A lot of chi building. So let's talk a bit about that territory.
Yes, that's
It seems like a big part of that journey is also about building up the vitality of the body.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps rebuilding might be the word for some of us who are, past a certain year. I'm not going to name any numbers
Don't know what you're talking about.
at the risk of insulting myself. So there's a lot of vitality that needs to be built so that the body can produce fuel to make the journey.
Yeah.
And this again, in some ways, to me, seems of rather common sense. Like, who hasn't had the experience of, like, just in a very mundane way, not having the juice to do meditation practice,
Yeah, right.
or let alone then doing some of the more arduous.
Are we
work.
taking a mid
We are
mid
yes.
podcast video? Is that what's happening?
It was gonna be like it was gonna be silent, but
Sorry.
you have to point
Yeah.
it out. Like,
Yes, it's a very very candid camera in my face. So not that that's in any way distracting.
Right, like it was working like no, god damn it, ruined
So-
my plan.
So building vitality is one important part, and the other is then like we are told opening up certain mechanisms in the body that help support certain mind states and vice versa.
Right.
Mm.
So we're working with certain mental qualities that feed the process as well.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, let's take some of the mental qualities just as an example to have some pointers about what kinds of things we're talking about here. Like, I don't think it would come to as a surprise to anybody that if you have a calmer, more open mind,
Mm-hmm.
resting without any emotional turmoil or constant mind chatter, that would be conducive to contacting something that's beyond the self.
Yeah. So some level of
Yeah.
stillness or calm abiding.
Exactly. And that also seems to feed the process of the chi gathering. So when my mind is more settled, the tissues engage in different ways, which then allows me to work some of the other practices in a more powerful way.
More efficient. Yeah.
Yes.
To me, another good example,
Mm.
which is, I mean, like getting calm. I don't want to call you obvious, but getting calm and making it work seems pretty straightforward. But there are things that are more surprising to me. Like one of them that is gratitude. Gratitude for me was the first example that I got of a quality that has an influence on the body, which in return has an influence on the chi.
Oh, interesting.
Like
Yeah.
when we do gratitude practices, it it involves certain positions with the hands and
Like heart field stuff.
and the heart field,
Yeah.
and it really is a thing. Like you conjure. You start by using like conjuring in your mind examples of very strong gratitude that you felt in the past, and that somehow activates your body, your energy in a certain way. Like you start feeling also what you were feeling in that moment. Then little by little you have to try to get rid of the memory of that thing, but keep that sensation, that feeling alive. And it's a feeling of opening, and you really feel it in the middle of the chest, especially, right? Like to begin with, the chest starts opening, and little by little it transmits to the entirety of the body. So sometimes I use it, for example, when I'm feeling like very contracted during a long sitting, and I'm feeling tired and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I try to do this gratitude, like to set my mind on gratitude, and my whole body starts opening up, and it really literally opens up in a way that allows for more chi to go through. So that's a quality, you have to have gratitude. That's a quality that has to be very developed. If you're an ungrateful bastard, meditating is going to be difficult for you. It's going to be less accessible. And just like gratitude, there is a million of these qualities that have an interface on the body, and correlating, what do you call it, not an interface, like say correspondent movement in the body and in the energy as an interface, and chi as an interface.
Which is powered by the amount of chi. Right? The more
Exactly,
chi you have,
yeah.
the more the gratitude will open your body.
Yes, exactly. Which is very, very cool.
Yeah.
Very
Out of
cool.
curiosity, you mentioned there like gratitude and opening the chest, if I heard you right.
Right.
Have you had the experience going the other way around? Like as you're somehow, for one reason or another, your chest opens up? Have you noticed a similar like experience? manifest
Probably
itself?
yes. I feel like when my chest opens, and my chest is a part that is quite locked for me. Like it's all like in the shape of my body. I have like what do you call it? Kyphotic back. Kyphotic back. Like, and my chest is tense and closed, and my my rib cage is a little closed. I remember once my shiatsu teacher, like a number of years ago, she was giving me a treatment, and she she was like, Girolamo, you should stop smoking. And I'm like, actually, no, I don't really smoke. And she was, really? You got the chest of a smoker? I'm like, so I have that. And when, for whatever reason, during a practice, or anyway, it may happen even not during a practice, but when I'm in daily life, maybe I would not put so much awareness in the process, so I would just not notice. But like during practice, I notice more that when the chest opens, then I tend to feel like this more openness, and little by little it makes me feel grateful for what I'm doing. Like it's quite a thing. Like for me, like and it really is something that works quite well. It makes me happy, and I feel like sometimes I have to control it because I start feeling smug. I start feeling like look at me living the life, like
I'm so grateful.
Yeah, I'm grateful, of course it's great. I'm in Bali and I'm practicing the thing I love the most. I have food on my table, I've got good friends, it's great. And
So
then
you
I
start
feel like,
identifying with all the things
yeah,
you're
I
grateful
start
for?
feeling like I actually deserve it, which is not a good mindset, right?
I'm a better person.
The near enemy.
Yeah, exactly, the near enemy, right? So like there is a part in which we have to build the chi and build these qualities and build these openings and these connections in the body, right?
Yeah.
More and more.
Yeah.
So we've got stillness, we've got gratitude.
Yeah.
There's lots of qualities.
Yeah. You could go down there's a long list of these, and
Numbered list.
and I'm sure there's a number of numbered lists
Yeah,
somewhere.
right. Yeah, and each tradition different numbers.
Yeah. And we mentioned also about vitality. So one thing I've been suffering with poor health for the last 10 years due to some like long-term illnesses I fortunately dealt with, but the after effects took a long time to clear. And I've noticed as I've been doing this practice, like of course there's just the physical fitness aspect that comes with training martial arts, but there's something else that's happening as well. Like some of the how should I put it, like weird mental states, brain fog, and those kinds of things have shifted entirely. So and with that comes this greater sense of like vitality, like which also seems to fuel my practice.
Yeah, the more alive you are, the better the practice works.
Yeah, and even like something as non-physical as doing sitting practice and observing my mind's movements, like even that opens up in a different way when there is that sense of vitality in the body.
To me, that's like one of the big things that I've noticed in this practice. That like there's a connection with energy. I used to sit. I've done long sits, 21-day retreats, and I was kind of a bit tired. Like I would relax, but it was tiring. Versus now I can sit and connect with the Lord Antien and the sense of vitality and the movement of energy, and it's like, there's a source of energy that's powering things.
It's actually powering the mind, because me before starting with this, which we call tantric practices that involve the body as well, I tried to, for many years, like let's say 10 years, like erratically, I tried to meditate and try to use my mind to observe my body, my mind, and observe that. No way, I would spend hours trying to do that. I would just come out of meditation, of a sit, like frustrated, tense, and having seen nothing, with like many more thoughts in my mind than when I started. And like there's no stilling the mind, nothing, and I could train gratitude, my bowls, nothing would work, right? Instead, when I started working with the body as well and building up chi, now, although I consider myself still a very shitty meditator, like my mind goes everywhere all the time, but still I see a progress. And it's consistent, and more I can put my mind on the object of attention that I choose, which it's made possible by the fact that I'm more vital, as you say. Like I don't, my body's more open. I don't feel like everything is pulling in all directions. I've got like one part of the hip and the knee that still complain quite a lot, but not bearable for at least an hour or more. And I can, it's that very basic example that Demo makes sometimes, like that when you're tired and you're hungry and you didn't sleep enough and all of that, like it's more difficult to be peaceful with people, tolerant and nice to other people and kind and all of that. Like it's the same with meditation. It's difficult to keep your mind in the right state if you hungry.
Yeah. I also want to like reach beyond where my practice is here and kind of paint the territory of where I could see these practices going.
Great.
So when I'm thinking about how my sitting practice is evolving, like I notice now that there is more engagement with my tissues as the chi gathers and the mind engages with that. Some things that become available is that I might be sitting cross-legged on the floor, and with gentle touch of my fingers in certain ways, my spine raises up, my chest opens up, and I can effortlessly hold a meditation posture that might have been a bit slumped before.
Right. Or
My mind becomes more alert,
Yeah.
and things grow quiet. So is it then such a far-fetched idea that as you refine those mechanisms further and further, that the same way that these tissues engage, other mechanisms might come online and help me tune out the outside world, go inside, and make contact with something that is beyond the chatter of my everyday mind.
Yeah.
That
absolutely.
seems very plausible to me.
No objection to that.
Yeah. So-
I mean, we hope for that.
And we've been putting a lot of emphasis on
Yeah.
going within, which is an interesting, way more complex than people are aware of concept.
Yeah, it's something I've been also wrestling with, and I'm wondering if it's the words that trip me up, or if it's one of those things that becomes obvious when I do, quote unquote, go inside and see what it is. Like, I hear it being defined in the negative quite often, like what it is not.
What is going within not?
It is not any of the five main senses we talk about.
It's not your thoughts and feelings.
It's also not the thoughts and feelings, so it's not the content of our mind.
It's not your body's physical sensations.
Yeah, it's not sight, sound, taste, touch,
Yeah.
none of those. So what are we left with? So I've been wondering to myself, like, what is the experience of that? And maybe I'll like one day have clarity about that. Maybe it is explainable just by like, oh, that's a type of interoception, like feeling of what is happening inside the body, or maybe that's something entirely separate from that too. So, but again, like it's one of those where like attaching to what it should be is not going to be helpful.
It's more of like an active exploration.
Exactly
feels
that.
like.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
And at least I've had the experience in my meditation practice where like the senses grow quiet, the mind grows quiet, and it's almost like, how should I put it? Because that reference point of the outside world disappears, like whatever is left seems to be vast as space.
Yes, growing and then getting vast, and then at some stage instead of having that in you, you're in it.
Yeah, that's one way Demo describes it, and I did manage to contact some of that like similar territory with my Buddhist teacher as well. So
Right.
it may not be unique to this tradition in any way, but
No, I don't.
yeah, seems
So going within is almost like a mental quality
mental
or a
quality.
skill. What would you
I
call
don't know.
going within?
I think it takes all of the above. I guess it could also be termed an experience. Just
Sure.
Yeah, it's,
It takes. I know it takes like for me like acceptance of whatever is there. It takes focused attention without intention.
yeah.
And then there's a gateway in the lower dantian. I feel like when you rest the mind in there, it kind of sucks. If you have a lower dantian, it starts to suck
Yeah.
it into a space which is more about the more direct sensation of chi. Is kind of how I experience versus just the effects of chi.
Yeah, it does seem like that is one sort of like readily available gateway to those kinds of states. Like in my prior experience, like similar gateways seem to open up through other places in the body, and that's also something that Demo has hinted at, that we can also absorb into our other parts of the body. So.
Is it wrong in any way to find that the main gateway for me is the whole body? Like for me, it's when I do put the mind in the entire body and then I release that, and that's when
I thought you were going to say the
generally-
butthole, so I think the whole body sounds fine to me.
Very offensive. I was opening up, and if you're vulgar, like.
I'll leave this
ready
for
for
the two of you to debate out at a later time.
I mean, if it works for you, I wouldn't have I don't have a strong.
Well, I mean,
opinion.
like I remember there is a conversation about the fact that like putting the attention on certain specific areas of the body has certain specific
Benefits.
consequences,
Mhm.
benefits,
Mhm.
which instead when you're doing the whole entire body you don't get.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, but aside from that, anyhow, these are fine-tuning details.
Yeah, so I think like here we are like using our experience as like how should I say, the ground to stand on,
Mhm.
and painting a picture of some of the things that may be possible further on,
Right.
like reaching slightly beyond where our experience may get us, but still like it seems to be grounded in that.
Right.
So I
Grounded
think-
in what we're experiencing and
Yeah.
postulating on how that could
Yeah,
move forward.
and then there are wilder claims as well, which we could go into, but I'm not sure how helpful that would be, honestly. So
Sure.
yeah,
It does get wacky.
yeah,
But more or less, like, I mean, this describes a bit like the map of a vague, not so detailed map of the
yeah,
potential process, right? Like, so get the key in, start the engine, build more energy, put more gas in that tank by opening channels, opening the body, opening the mind, like building qualities, so that all this builds more
More and more chi.
and
Tons and tons.
then put your attention on the chi, and this will carry you around.
Well, that builds when you're able to absorb into the sensation.
Yeah,
chi,
when you're
go
able to-
within, you
yeah.
build even more chi, right? It's
Right.
This snowball.
But
And-
gentlemen, what is this chi we're building?
We had a whole episode on that. Do you remember?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
check the episode with.
What was it?
Anastasia.
Anastasia. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. All right. So we don't even need to cover that. It's like go to the archives. It's right there.
Well, we could do mini episodes of what
No,
chi is because
Excellent.
there are layers and layers and layers.
Yeah.
It seems.
I mean, if it's already covered, I think it's just.
Do you want to give us your take on chi? We're open.
No, no, I'm happy- happy
No.
to,
You put yourself into this. Like, give us
did
your
I?
take on
Oh,
chi.
man. No, I mean, if you guys had a whole episode on it, I think it will just guide the listeners to go to that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the pithiest explanation we've covered is the that which sort of like communicates between mind and body, like the intermediary substance.
Yeah, and again, like, don't trip up on the language here. Just connect with the experience that we're describing.
Right. So it sounds like in terms of how we interact with the map, which I think is an interesting
Yeah.
question you brought in at the beginning. It's
Yeah.
like if you get too involved in the map's imperfect, so that won't help.
Yeah,
And if you don't have a map at all, you can kind of wander around in the territory lost. But you check the map and then you look around. You
Yeah.
notice, where am I in space? What's my actual experience?
yeah,
And then you check the map and then you do that and you kind of figure out
yeah.
what's the next step.
Yeah.
The map is also useful because, in a way, when you're looking at the territory, you also want to keep your direction and not get too involved with certain things on the side sometimes.
Sidetrack.
Right? Like oh, look at that, that's pretty, I'm gonna go there. And then you spend, like, I don't know, 3 days,
Yeah.
3 years, in 3 decades in that place that is not particularly useful for your goal. So, like, you want to loosely have an idea where you're going and avoid
Yeah.
getting stuck. But yeah.
And also, like, I find maps to be supremely helpful when the teacher's not around.
Right.
Sure.
Or available for whatever reason.
Exactly.
So yeah.
And furthermore, when you want to explain to others as well, like if
Yeah.
at some stage you get
Yeah,
to
yeah.
teach, like
Yeah.
you kind of have to have like a little bit of a framework to guide people around.
Yes.
So there's one more piece I want to put in.
Mm.
We've built this very simple map for
Mm.
people, but that's good. I think it doesn't want to be too complicated right
Mhm.
now. But we're putting the key in the ignition. We're building all this chi. We're opening the body. How does that help with our connection to the soul or that which is eternal? Like what is the connection there?
Yeah. So I think we touched upon it a bit earlier, but the way I'm looking at it is that chi is one of the many things that allows us to build more vitality in our body. It's also something that opens up our body and allows our mind to enter our body. It is also something that seems to foster certain mental qualities that are conducive for the practice. And when there is this interface between the mind and the body, and the mind rests in the body, it's much more stable and vivid. So therefore, like, all the meditative practices that are described in various traditions become much more accessible. So to me, that seems like quite a lot of support.
Yeah, it's a ton of support.
Yeah, for like more meditative practices.
Yeah, I think in our system we're also taught that chi itself can be the practice that leads you to the soul. I mean, like you almost like you put your awareness in chi, and the more you're able to that sort of link your awareness to the chi. What they say, like yi and chi. The more you put them, the more they're together, the more chi you have. The more the chi will sort of carry your awareness to deeper and deeper states, and deeper layers of yourself, beyond yourself, and all of that. Like it's almost like the chi is your little scooter. You go on, right?
Yeah.
Like it goes deeper and deeper till it's actually through being in your chi that you get to to be in touch with your soul. So that itself, chi itself becomes the object of awareness, of meditation.
And it's also like one thing that was a bit of a light bulb moment for me. I believe it was last year we were talking about how absorption is a result of quietude of the mind and chi.
Right, both together.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And attention.
And therefore it's possible for somebody to have just like extreme levels of quietude of mind and not have the supporting practice we have here and still be able to enter some of these same states of absorption. I've had that experience.
Yeah.
Like on a meditation retreat, like you're, 10, 15 days into a meditation retreat, like the mind grows real quiet and then you kind of try to sneak towards these states of mind. Whereas like with chi that becomes so much easier. Like, yes, there's still a certain level of quietude required, but it's much more accessible in my everyday life rather than amidst a month-long meditation retreat.
Right.
And one of the parts of the map that we're provided with here is that a certain level of this mind-body interface is required to contact some of these higher aspects of ourselves rather than just find something that is void of the everyday experience.
Right. Yeah, my understanding is like some people engage in meditation traditions where the outcome is really just kind of calm mind, peacefulness, right? A sense of I'm okay, everything's okay, which is I think a certain type of attainment that's wonderful, and it goes much further. So the idea of the chi actually illuminates something in that stillness, in that space. The chi is like turning on a lamp in a dark room, where you actually then can contact and witness those parts of your being.
Yeah, and it's like if I'm reflecting back on my experience with the Burmese tradition, like it seems, at least the way I encountered it, that the end of the path was seeing the emptiness of the self.
Right.
Like seeing that too is just a construct.
Right.
And then you're kind of left with a bit of a so
And
what?
then?
Like,
Am I a nihilist? Am I a nihilist now?
Yeah, I mean the experience of it, I would imagine, is not one of nihilism, but as an idea, it could be that.
And
So
also the typical thing that one hears is meditation might lead to the end of suffering. Well, apparently, end of suffering could be just not a basic step, but one step, and then you've ended the suffering, and then there's more, which is what we
Beyond the cessation of suffering.
exactly. That could be the title of another title for this episode. No, not really.
But that to me is a profound piece of the teachings and the map that we've been given out here.
Yeah.
That actually goes so much further
Yeah.
than I think a lot of people are aware of in terms of a meditation practice. That there's some part of you that can become illuminated.
Yeah. Or some other part that comes to the fore, and I hesitate to use the expression "take over," but it's something that this limited sense of self that can surrender to.
Right. The limited constructed sense of self steps back.
Yeah.
The eternal part steps forward, and then eventually they merge. From what I
Yeah.
understand, something like that.
Above my pay grade, but
Exactly.
Yeah. For now.
For now.
For now,
In
yeah.
season 2 or maybe season 3,
Oh yeah. I should.
we'll have direct experience of this and we can discuss it.
By this time next year, I'm sure we'll have it figured out.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Are you guys satisfied with what we've been talking about? Like, do you have other things you want to mention, two of you?
I feel pretty satisfied. Yeah, I think this is a good start to a comprehensive map.
Yeah, I mean, like, are you satisfied? Is there anything you want? Anything you want to advertise, like some
No.
product that you sell or something? That you
Thanks for the opportunity, but no, not this time. Thank you.
Maybe some other time.
we'd like to take the opportunity, we were discussing this with Dan yesterday, to congratulate you on your facial hair.
Well, thank you. I've got a lot of compliments on it, and
Yeah, it's a very nice beard.
the peer
you
pressure
got.
is mounting, so maybe I do need to keep it. I'll
Yeah, no, you're not.
I'll make my own decision soon.
Because it's also like it's darker than your the rest of your the scalp hair.
Scalp
the,
hair,
the
yes.
scalp hair. Yeah? It's like
So
it's
my eyebrow color.
Yeah, it's rubber color. Yeah, it's very very nice. Like
Well,
It's good job.
thank you very much. Well,
All right.
Yeah.
There you got it.
okay, thank you very much.
I like to conclude episodes on a friendly.
Friendly high note.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Well done.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye for now.